Hello, everybody. Sorry. This is kind of a cold open for today. That's a technical issue on my part. But yeah, I am here. I am live, and we are going to start the Wednesday wind down. Thank you all so much for tuning in, for joining me. Got a lot to discuss, to talk about today. But before I do that, before I get right into it, please don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question or something and you want to donate to this channel a little bit, please consider giving a super chat. And remember that by YouTube law, I have to address it because it highlights it and I can't miss it if you want to ask a question. Also, if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. That'd be greatly appreciated. And if you enjoy what you saw today, please give this video a like. And if you really enjoyed it, you can become a member for as little as 10 Rand. A member for as little as 10 Rand to my channel. Also greatly appreciated. And if you want to follow me on social media, the links are in the description below. And of course, you can also join the Telegram channel as well to get updates on uploads, upcoming shows, all that stuff. So now that that's out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you so much for tuning in. Loads and loads to talk about today. The WHO warning about lockdowns again, Juju in court. Basically pleading that he's not guilty. How? I don't know. We'll talk about that in a moment. The president may have corona. We'll talk about that. And apparently, international news reporting that South Africa may have herd immunity. We'll talk about that. And farm murders, farm attacks have reached the Dutch. And we'll be talking about that. And then I got some funny headlines I thought I would share with you guys. Sort of funny. The one is about what's that word? What's the word they use? Gender neutral words. And the other one, well, the other one's more of a video I saw on Twitter that I thought was hilarious because, as you guys know, we are leading into the U.S. elections. And things are heating up in America. Apparently, people are losing their minds. And I got an interesting video that I would like to share with you guys towards the end. So let's kick it off. Kasdur is here saying, "Hey Joe, hey buddy, nice to have you here. Thank you so much for tuning in." All right, so first let's just get right into it. There's so much to talk about, as well as the budget. There's a budget. Our minister of budget, or whatever he's called, gave us a bit of insight into what the budget is, so I'll be talking about that as well. So let's just get right into the big headline here, which is the WHO. Let me just zoom in a little bit. There we go. All right, so you guys can see here, the WHO warns getting COVID-19 under control may require tougher lockdowns, sacrifice for many people. Flip knows what sacrifice means. Let's look at the quick subheadings here. As COVID cases surge across the world, the WHO organizers has warned the countries may need to impose stricter lockdown measures to get the virus under control. Non-essential, this is important, non-essential businesses may have to shut down again to take the heat off of this stage of pandemics, Ryan said. And they're worried that the virus has leaked to elderly or vulnerable populations. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Didn't these people like condone the lockdown and stuff like that? So I did a bit of research, right? I wanted to go back and see if they did condone it. And there's an interesting tweet that started this all. I'm going to pop it up now. So if you look over here, right, this is the tweet on the 13th of October 2020 that was posted by the World Health Organization, right? We are aware that lockdowns are again a topic of discussion as countries deal with the surges of COVID-19. We understand that sometimes such measures, although not sustainable, keyword there, are needed to swiftly suppress the virus and avoid health systems being overwhelmed. Now, we all know that the reason for the lockdown was to prepare health, hospitals and stuff like that, make arrangements for the peak, right? If you look underneath, it says lockdowns are not sustainable solutions because of their significant economic, social, and border health impacts. However, during COVID-19 pandemic, there have been times when restrictions were necessary, and there may be other times in the future. Very important. Because of their severe economic, social, and border health impacts, lockdowns need to be limited in duration. They're best used to prepare for long-term public health measures. During these periods, countries are encouraged to lay the groundwork for more sustainable solutions. And then they give a list of who continues to advise to do X, Y, and Z. Now, I found a video of a woman explaining this as well. So I'm going to play it and then we'll discuss it. So listen up.
For many people, it means many different things. And actually, the word lockdown, we don't use that word. If people listen to us, you hear us sometimes say so-called lockdown measures because it's a combination of factors. Some of this means stay-at-home orders. Some of this means movement restrictions. Some people think a complete closure of all businesses, workplaces, schools, public transport. And so it means different things to different people. Our position, and we've been talking about this for quite some time, we've even included it in our strategic preparedness and response plan where we've talked about this. We haven't recommended the use of so-called lockdowns. What we've recommended is a comprehensive approach in all of these different measures that need to be taken. You hear us say do it all. But it's the individual measures that people take with the physical distancing, hand hygiene, respiratory etiquette, wearing a mask, staying at home if you're unwell. It's an all of society, all of government approach with having strong surveillance and active case finding, contact tracing, making sure that we have trained clinicians and we have good clinical care. I could go on and on. It's all of those measures. But we do recognize that some countries in some areas have had to use what is called so-called lockdown measures because they needed to buy themselves some time to build up the system to be able to carry out all of those activities.
Yeah, so basically the WHO doesn't like lockdowns, but they understand that countries have to implement them so that countries can prepare for health reasons, right? But I feel like that's a cop-out. I mean, we just want you guys to sanitize. We want you to do this social distancing. We want you to do all that stuff, right? That's what we put out. That's what we said people should do. What governments decide to do beyond that is not our problem because we don't condone it. But then again, we kind of understand why it needs to be done, but we definitely don't condone it. So that for me is a weird one. What a cop-out. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Speculation on are we going to go into another lockdown, I think has become even more of a possibility. We have media talking about a second wave. We have the government saying, hey, I'm not sure. Like the president yesterday said, I'm not sure. I need to look at a report. And when I look at the report, I will decide from there. We have the WHO saying, hey, some of these countries need to go back into a lockdown. It's kind of like, that's the thing. This article, right, kind of contradicts a little bit of what this lady is saying. Because in this article here, where is it? They're actually telling people to go back into a lockdown, or at least try to go back into it. Where is it here? The WHO also criticized some nations for not doing enough to reduce the spread of virus during the first wave of the pandemic. So what is it? WHO? Huh? What is it? You're for it, you're not for it, it's wishy-washy kind of thing, I don't know. Yanni joined us as well. Hello, Yanni, thank you so much for tuning in. And Lynn Duplessis, thank you so much for tuning in as well. All right, so let me know your thoughts on the WHO. These people annoy me. Flip-flopping all the time. Just stick to your guns, man. Stick to your guns. And Stevie saying France going in, Germany will follow. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of them going in. People are saying like, yeah, but there's certain sections of Europe, like in Germany or wherever, or England. There's certain sections that are on lockdown. It doesn't matter. It's on lockdown, man. And again, even though the WHO admits that it is a problem economically, they're still like, yeah, maybe you guys need to. It's a problem, but you need to get it under control. Doesn't make any sense. But okay, I don't know. I'm just bringing you the headlines as I see them. And speaking of this, and one of the reasons why I think we might go into a lockdown, as we said, the president yesterday said that he's going to look at a report and he's going to decide what the future is for South Africa, right? So this was breaking news this morning. And okay, so before I show this, I want you guys to also read the headline because the headline's interesting. We'll read it together. In isolation, Mr. President Cyril Ramaphosa is supposed to have his own roll of toilet paper. What the hell is that? I mean, I get it. It's one of the things that, if you're in quarantine, you're supposed to use your own roll of toilet paper. Okay, it's one of the precautions, but do you have to put it in a headline? So apparently the president is, he's in quarantine because they're not sure if I remember, wait, let me see what it says here. Okay, so here we go. President Cyril Ramaphosa is in self-isolation. His office announced on Wednesday morning after a guest he had attended a dinner with on Saturday tested positive for the coronavirus. So he was at a fundraising event on Saturday, and someone there was tested positive. So now, the whole contact thing. Now he has to stay in isolation, right? He has to stay at home. You have to stay at home in your own room if possible. Minimize the time you spend in shared spaces such as bathrooms, kitchens, sitting rooms, and make sure everyone wears a mask, including you, at these times. Take meals back to your room and use your own roll of toilet paper, hand towels, toothpaste, and other supplies. This one was interesting, toothpaste. Does anyone share toothpaste? Is that a thing? I guess it could be a thing if you both like the same toothpaste. Toilet paper. Okay, cool. So, yeah, it says here only on the 8th of November will Ramaphosa be considered to close to zero risk of getting COVID-19, though a new evidence suggests he could still develop it until nearly end of November. So basically, he might be in the clear in a week from now or at the end of November, anywhere between a week and a month. And this makes me wonder because they do say here that he can still operate remotely, so he might still address the nation. We don't know. They don't really say much about that. And yeah, so that's what's happening with the president at the moment. He's in quarantine. So yeah, okay. Which some may speculate now because that he has been infected. That will give the government more reason to say, "Hey, let's go on a lockdown. Shit's getting out of control. Everyone's being infected. Let's sort this out." Possible, maybe. I don't know. But in other news, which I found this was very interesting. I saw this headline and I had to read it. So this is from international news. It's from Sky News. Okay. Headline, not gonna lie, grabbed me very, it was good. It was good the way it grabbed me. So the headline, apparently South Africa has developed herd immunity. This herd immunity thing has been a huge debate, right? So now they're trying to push that to explain the numbers, all right? Let me show you. So I'm not making this crap up. So coronavirus, South Africa's COVID lockdown may have created herd immunity It's almost like they're trying to justify the lockdown level 5, right? Oh, no. Lockdown level 5 was great because now we have herd immunity, right? I'm going to play this clip here. I couldn't find, I wasn't able to download it. So it might be a bit laggy, I'm sorry for that. But let's have a listen at what, I don't know if you guys will actually be able to hear this. Let me see.
For many in South Africa, the global pandemic has come and gone. The people of Europe may be living under tough new restrictions, but some residents in Johannesburg are feeling less restrained.
Life is better now than last month, like since May, June, July.
4 months ago, a massive outbreak swept through this country, infecting hundreds of thousands of people. Then, quite unexpectedly, the level of infection plummeted. Scientists were puzzled. Some were using masks and social distancing, but it didn't explain the drop.
The only biologically plausible way for this virus to have subsided is that there's been some sort of herd immunity that's been reached, but in the context of the use of non-pharmaceutical interventions.
In June, scientists started testing for the virus in blood samples given at local clinics, and they were stunned by what they found. In Cape Town, up to 44% of those tested had been infected with the virus.
Were you surprised by the data?
I'm totally surprised. And even the modelers themselves never modeled for 1/3 of the population getting infected.
When South Africa imposed its lockdown back in March, it worked inadvertently to accelerate the spread of COVID-19. Social distancing proved impossible in many densely populated districts. The strict level 5 lockdown in this country was basically a failure. It didn't seem to stop the spread of COVID-19 at all. But that failure had a completely unexpected benefit, which has left South Africa in a much better position now. Professor Mahdi believes 12 to 15 million people may have developed some immunity through repeated exposure to the virus, and that may help South Africa avoid a second wave. But if the rate of infection does spiral, he wouldn't recommend a strict lockdown.
The response needs to be much more nuanced rather than just simply believing that a level 5 or highly restrictive lockdown is going to get rid of the virus. Under no circumstances is a lockdown on its own going to achieve elimination of the virus.
In South Africa, at least, there are some who are ready to celebrate a return to relative normality. John Sparks, Sky News.
So yeah, what? Now this is very confusing because in a way they're saying that lockdown level 5, while it was terrible and caused apparently more infections, because obviously, like we were discussing when it was first implemented, you know, people in shacks who stay like 5-10 people together, it's like an incubator, right, for the virus. But now, because of that, there's herd immunity. So, and yet they still say, okay, cool, so we created herd immunity, but we still shouldn't go back to level 5. At least they condone level 5 lockdown. But it's interesting that this made it to international news. This is Sky News reporting on this. And a possible herd immunity, which has been a big debate because a lot of people have been saying that maybe we should just live, you know, be as careful as possible, still sanitize and all that stuff. But I don't know. Maybe we have a bit of a case study here. You know, people in the townships who we know didn't really abide to the lockdown regulations. If it's true, developed herd immunity. And then they say, yeah, but then South Africa doesn't really have to worry about a second wave. And I don't know. It's very confusing. Very confusing. But we'll see how this develops in the future. So, yeah. So yeah, IZA saying, what science is Sky News smoking, trying to justify the lockdown? What utter nonsense? Yeah, that's what I thought in the first time I watched it. You know, like, because on the one hand, like I said, they're saying lockdown is bad. Like the doctor that they had on that they were interviewing says it's bad. We shouldn't go back to lockdown. But then again, like the lockdown level 5 had this unexpected reaction. So yeah. Massive outbreak. Yeah, no, it wasn't really a massive outbreak. Here's the thing, guys. Like, I've looked at the numbers recently. Not a big amount of the population has been tested. And that should worry people. How can we trust these numbers if not a lot of people have been tested? There's no telling really how bad the virus is. That dude is an idiot. Claim lockdown created herd immunity, but then say we wouldn't go into a hard lockdown again. Why not? It worked so well the first time. What utter nonsense, exactly. Yeah, very confusing. But anyway, I don't know what they're trying to pull there. I don't. It's almost like they're trying to give an illusion to the international people. Like, so look at South Africa. This is what happened. But you know, this is a result of it. It's a weird one. Beth joining us. Hello, Beth. Thank you for tuning in. All right, so I don't know. We'll see what happens with that one. It's just ridiculous if you ask me. We shouldn't go into a lockdown. That's how I feel. Okay. And then, so that's pretty much all the Rona news that was in the news today. But there's other news that I would like to discuss with you guys. So Juju was in court today for assaulting an officer, right? And there's been reports that he has pled not guilty, okay, to this thing. I'm going to play a clip now from ENCA where the guy explains what Julius said. Then afterwards, straight after, is going to be a clip of the footage of Julius and his right-hand minion assaulting this officer. So you guys can judge for yourself. We'll discuss it after I play the clip.
He will still plead not guilty when he addressed his supporters, because in the past he has said that he did not assault the police officer in 2018 at Mama Winnie Madikizela Mandela's funeral. He just said he merely pushed him aside because he was blocking them. They wanted to access the gravesite, but they couldn't. So they had to just push him aside so that they can proceed with their journey to the gravesite. So we
All right, so that was Julius's thing. Oh, I just nudged him. I just pushed him aside because we wanted to get to the graveyard. So I just pushed him a little bit aside. It wasn't an assault. It wasn't that. All right. Well, here's the footage. And there is no sound to this video, by the way. There's the circle indicating where Julius pops up from. That is Julius at the moment. And there's the officer being pushed. I will admit, there are moments that are, well, there's really no, we can see clearly Julius is pushing the officer right there. And apparently it's at this moment, at some point, that Julius shouts at the officer and says, "No white man will keep me from going," or something to that effect. So yeah, that was kind of an intense situation, and that's what happened. So I must say this as well. I watched a bit of the court proceeding. I don't know, I think it was the officer said he's not sure that Julius pushed him or was the first person to push him because he couldn't see. It was someone who pushed him out of nowhere, and then later on, I don't know. Like, that's just a weird testimony for me. But again, I haven't watched the whole thing. I probably will, even though it's going to be very difficult to do so. Just to get the whole story. But the fact that he's actually saying he's not guilty is ridiculous. So yeah. There you go. Eleutheria saying that he admitted publicly that he's not going to be stopped by a white man from attending the funeral, or the burial, sorry. Yeah, which is pretty much what was said in court today. So yeah, funny enough, no follow-up so far from what I can see. There's a live feed of what happened in court. It's about a almost 4 hour live stream, which obviously I didn't have time to watch all of it. And yeah, nothing after that. After that, though, what is big in the news at the moment is the budget stuff. I don't know if any of you have heard the news. Let me just play it.
Deputy Speaker, honourable members, Mr. President, 3 billion rand was allocated to the Land Bank in June. The bank will require an additional 7 billion rand over the medium term to support its restructuring and refocus.
Now, I just want to pause it there because I did have a conversation with Theo de Jager and Herman Ruas about the land bank going bankrupt and requiring some extra money for a bailout. So this is actually good news. It sounds like the land bank will be getting help. However, as we speculated in that interview, how long will it take for the land bank to get that money? And who knows, can we really trust the ANC at this point?
R10.5 billion is allocated to SAA to implement its business rescue plan. Well, let me repeat. 10.5 billion rand is allocated to SAA to implement its business rescue plan. This allocation.
That guy that's clapping, he's benefiting. he's like, yeah, I'm gonna get my money. Woohoo! Yeah, it's gonna wait. Payday's coming, buddy. Payday's coming. Everyone else not impressed. Everyone else like, what the hell is going on? There was a guy literally shaking his head there, but this guy clapping. He's gonna get his kickbacks. That's what's happening right there. See.
This allocation is funded through reductions to the baselines of national departments, public entities, and conditional grants. This allocation is in addition to the 16.4 billion rand allocated over the 2020 MTF in the February budget for settling guaranteed debt and interest. You can't run away from your obligations. You can't run away from your obligations. Our approach is in line with the principle that funding to state-owned enterprises must come within the current framework and reprioritize from elsewhere. We need, however, to make it clear that the continuous funding of inefficient, non-functional, state-owned enterprises has to be reconsidered. In this instance, we will work together with the Department of Public Enterprises to deal with these matters. For our part, we are determined that whatever the demands, we cannot break the fiscal framework.
So that sounds like a whole lot of mumbo jumbo. And I cannot believe that SAA... When are we ever going to get... Like, we don't, you know... I'm lost for words. I really, really am lost for words. But there's a response to what happened from the DA. And there probably are other opposition parties that have responded to this. This is just one clip that I found. I didn't have time to find others. But let's listen to what a representative of the DA had to say. Again, I don't know if he's a representative, I forgot his name. But I think he sums it up quite nicely.
think there were two major disappointments, Lindsay, I'm afraid. The two commitments that the Minister has really staked a claim on over the last couple of years has been getting debt under control and ending bailouts. I'm afraid today he retreated on both of those commitments. He is going to bail out South African Airways with another 10.5 billion on top of the 16.5 they got in February. And he has admitted or conceded that debt will not get under control by 2023, but only by 2026. And even then with an extra trillion, with a T, trillion rand in debt on top of what we already have. Now, we just think that bailing out SAA and going deeper into debt when so many South African families are suffering right now is totally unacceptable, and actually worse than that, morally indefensible. And especially when you look at the detail of the numbers to see that it is being funded by cuts to basic services like policing and healthcare and education. This is just not right.
So where should the Minister have taken the money from?
Well, he should not have given the money to South African Airways, and he should have stuck to his commitment made just 3 months ago in July to the so-called active scenario to get debt under control by 23.
Yeah, so he took funding from education and police and put it somewhere else into SAA or whatever other budget. Like this is ridiculous. How can SAA does not need to survive, guys. We have so many airlines. I'm really worried. There's some scary stuff that was said there. Some very scary stuff. And yeah, you're right, Castor. Unfortunately, they don't care. They really don't care. And we just keep on being lied to. Our debt apparently was supposed to be paid off by 2023. Now it's 2026. So that's another 6 years they're basically trying to say that we have 6 years of very bad economic situation at the moment. And it's probably going to, yeah, it's going to get worse. So yeah. Yeah, I just can't. I don't know how many times I said I can't there, but I just can't. I mean, I'm sorry for laughing, but I mean, what am I supposed to do? You know, like, there's like, oh, they're doing this in front of us, and there's just nothing we can do. Oh, man, yeah. No one can be happy about this, right? I mean, besides the people that were clapping in there, we all know the 4 people that were clapping in Parliament right now were probably the ones that are going to get kickbacks from this bailout, right? So nobody was clapping. Nobody was impressed with that statement. Does that not tell you something? I don't know. Anyway. So I thought there was an interesting article released by IRR, South African Institute of Race Relations. Interesting article. I thought I would talk about it, which is, I'm going to share the screen now. It is, there you go. It is Land Bungle Bus, the myth that the ANC wants to make black South Africans property owners, IRR. So this is an interesting article, ladies and gentlemen, and basically it's saying how this whole what the ANC is trying to promote, we're going to give the land back to the people, is actually not true. If I'm going to draw your attentions to, okay, this is important. ANC's ideological opposition to allowing black South Africans to become freehold landowners freehold landowners in prosperous property-owning democracy has turned its announcement to releasing 700,000 hectares of vacant and underutilized land for agricultural development into public relations disaster. Okay, so it's becoming a public relations disaster. The scheme in no way transfers ownership of property away from state to citizens. Okay, so that's important to know. So the state is still going to own the property. Okay. And then this crap. Moreover, the government's list of properties earmarked for redistribution. Remember, there was a list that they first denied, then they accepted, then they denied, then they said, no, it's a different list, but then it was the same list. Includes a farm of David Ragazzi, who in 2019 won a lengthy court battle that culminated in a court order instructing the state to sell him the land he had been farming for decades. So at least he got some money out of that. So apparently the plan is doomed to fail. Let me just see where else was that important. Yeah, here we go. The initiative, announced in September by Minister of Agriculture, Land Reform, Rural Development, Toko Didize, makes no provision for awarding beneficiaries ownership of land, but rather envisages, whatever that means, 30-year, non-transferable restrictive leases with compulsory training programs. Yeah. So, you ain't getting land, people. Like, that's not what this thing's about. It almost sounds kind of slave-like, if you ask me. Just modern-day slavery, really. Here, it's almost like they're saying, oh, you can have the land, but you're gonna rent it from us, right? You're gonna rent the land from us. Only if you do this program, which probably makes them work really hard. And if they don't, if they're not up to scratch, well, the government can just take the land. That's my understanding of this article. So yeah, really well done on IRR on explaining that and for this article. For those of you who don't know, 700 of hectares of what they call vacant land or unused land. The president did say that he was going to release that to the people. Recently, I think it was last week, he tweeted it. So he'll tweet about land reform, and he'll tweet about, oh, I'm going to give my people land and all that stuff, 700,000 hectares, right? But he won't tweet about how sorry he is about the 100 and odd thousand hectares that was burnt, and how maybe we should help the farmers and draw people to that attention for aid. No. We won't talk about the burning, but we'll talk about the land being given away. So, well done on that. Cool. I'm just going to look at some of the comments quickly. I don't want to neglect you guys. See, some of you are also angry. Tsatsa Venter says, hi Joe. Hello Tsatsa. Thank you so much for tuning in. I haven't seen your name here before, so if you're new, please subscribe. I might as well do that as well. Please give this video a like, people. Also, remember you can support me. You can become a member to this channel for as little as 10 Rand if you enjoy my work. And don't forget to follow me on social media. And I have a Telegram channel that you can also get updates on. And yeah, that's it for now. Joe, your channel is coming along nicely, starting to look good, mates. Well done, keep it up. Thank you very much. Brendan, thank you very much. It's good to see you here again. All right, so let's see who else is saying something very quickly. Yeah, okay. Yeah, he's saying I feel neglected. That's a shame. All right, so very quickly onto some other news. I'm almost done, guys, with this. Like I said, a lot happened today, but I'm speaking about the burning of 100 hectares, or 100, more than, I think last time I checked, it was 130 hectares of land that was burnt. Farmland, specifically. I think this, seeing as we're talking about farmers, I think this is some good news. Hopefully, in the future, I hope that this is going to put some pressure on what is happening with farm attacks and farm murders in South Africa. We see here is from biznews.com. SA farm attacks, land appropriation plans could derail investment plans, Dutch MPs warn. So basically, a trio of Dutch MPs have expressed worry over farm attacks and land expropriation without compensation in South Africa. Politicians have appealed to the Dutch Minister of Foreign Affairs Steph Block to consider reporting farm murders and attacks to the UN's Human Rights Council. This is good news. This is good. People are talking. The news is getting out there, which is great. Absolutely great. Whether or not this is going to do anything, I don't know. So we have a familiar name here. Let me start it from here. In a recent interview, listen below, with Biz News founder Alec Hogg, Willem Petzer said, we know that they have no political will to do anything about farm murders. They have no political will to protect farmers, because they literally go out and say things like, we're going to take back the land. So there's an interview with Willem Petzer. If you guys want to check that out, you're more than welcome to do so. So yeah, it just explains what the Dutch have been saying about it. Let me just see here if there's anything. There was something I remember. Yeah, so there we go. 3 Dutch members of parliament reiterated their concerns about farm attacks and the ANC's government's planned expropriation without compensation in a series of questions put to the Dutch Minister of Foreign Affairs, Steph Blok. This comes after the Dutch parliament last year adopted a motion that expresses a position to expropriation without compensation. In terms of this motion, Minister Blok had to convey the Netherlands' disapproval of this policy to the South African government. So yeah. Look, it's somewhat good news. At least international people are talking about this. Which reminds me, ladies and gentlemen, and yes, I'm going to plug this every time I get a chance to. Please go check out my 3-part series of Cynical. This is a video that actually could help raise awareness about what is happening in South Africa when it comes to farm murders and farm attacks. It's a 3-part series. That was part 2. This is part 3. Hard-hitting stuff. Would really appreciate it if you guys could go share it far and wide. And hopefully we'll get more eyes on this. All right, so what do you guys think about that? What do you guys think? Are you hopeful? You're not hopeful? I have 2 more headlines to go through. Well, 1 more headline and then a funny video that I thought would be fun to share with you guys. So, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, the UN. Well, IFReform is now in with the UN, by the way. So I can't remember exactly. Maybe I'll follow the story closely. But they've been, I don't want to say promoted. I don't know what the word is, but they are working very closely now with the UN. So that's also good. Zimbabwe, yep, that's good. Yep, that's true. Ron saying, good on you, Ron. Thank you, Yanni, for sharing the links to the series. Please, guys, go check it out. That's the playlist. So please go check it out. Yeah. So very quickly, we're nearing the end. Oh no, we still got a bit of time. So Eleutheria is saying, I don't think the international community cares. We're a small country at the tip of Africa. Yeah, but you don't understand how the international views South Africa. South Africa is viewed by the international as like a baby, almost, if I can put it that way. Like it's supposed to be a symbol of the rainbow nation, right? That's why Cyril works so hard to make sure that internationals don't think there's anything bad happening here. Or at least the ANC works so hard to make sure that, you know, because remember what they sold us in '94. They don't want the image that was sold then to be deteriorated. So when they start talking about this stuff, it's a big deal. Why do you think when Trump made that tweet, there was such an attack against Trump, you know? And Cyril quickly tried to, you know, win back the people, you know, by telling Trump to stay over there, mind your own business, and we will deal with our issues here. That's what he said. I have clips of it. So international people, South Africa cares what the international people think of them, put it that way, or at least the ANC does. So yeah. All right, so let me go on to this article. This, actually, Eleutheria, I'm glad that you're joining me on this one, because I think this one might trigger you a little bit. But it's not a bad article. It's not a bad article. I think it's a good article. I'm going to get the headline. Okay. There we go. Here we go. I'm gonna share it now. Here we go. This is not political. This is just something interesting I found. Boom. I'm a woman, not a person who bleeds. Yeah. So, Eleutheria, I think you will enjoy this one. So basically, I love this article. Have you ever heard of the word chest feeding? What does it make you think of? To me, it sounds like something out of a low-budget horror film. It definitely does not sound like feeding a baby. And yet, this week, La Leche League, in an organization which promotes breastfeeding, right, said it supports all breastfeeding, chest feeding, and human milk feeding families, right? Human milk feeding. Sounds alien, right? This is about gender neutral words, okay? And this woman is making fun of some of the terms that companies are using today so that they're not in trouble. Human milk feeding. Okay. that is alien. So this is also another. At the weekend, tampon manufacturer Tampax referred to its female customers as people who bleed. Wow. People who bleed. Attention, people who bleed. People bleed. Can you please step aside for a second? Yes, we want to talk to you for a second. All of you people that bleed. Oh man, this is so funny. So these companies have come under fire for using gender-neutral language, even though having periods and giving birth is distinctly female experiences. So it's weird that when it comes to the female biology, right? You know, females, they get their periods, they give birth, right? But yet we're trying to make that a gender-neutral thing, like men and women can experience that. Okay. What the hell is going on here? So women don't refer to themselves as the birthing parent or chest feeders or people who bleed. The language is jarring and even a little insulting. The words lack any true resonance, not least because these words are never used in everyday conversation. I mean, that's so true. It is the companies that are coming up with these gender-neutral bullshit words, right? And women are feeling offended by it. Women are feeling like, I'm not... See, she says here, there is nothing bigoted about... Hold on. There's nothing bigoted about recognizing that birth, breastfeeding, and menstruation are things that women do. Absolutely correct. Women's health has its own history, some of it unpleasant. Women in the past often died giving birth and suffered in excruciating agony before pain relief became available. In some religious traditions, this pain was considered God's punishment for Eve biting the apple. Menstruation was similarly regarded as superstition and treated as taboo subject. This had real consequences for women in society, right? However, things are different now, but it's true that having periods and giving birth shape women's lives in material ways. We need to be able to speak clearly and meaningfully about this. Confusing politically correct language obscures our ability to do so. Freaking A, yes. So this is where, so obviously, I know some people are going to talk about the transgender, right? So, of course, trans men have their own particular experience of giving birth and feeding a baby, just as they do with other health issues like cervical screening. But these vague politically correct words are not really descriptive of their lives either. So she addresses that part. This is probably my favorite paragraph. Gender neutral language pits women's health and transgender issues against each other. It presents them as mutually exclusive, usually at the exclusion of women. Surely, we can find common sense language to acknowledge one without invalidating the other. I think this is a great article. I don't know about you, Eleutheria, but I think this is a great article. Because, holy crap, what the hell? Chest feeding. Because women have breasts, men have chests, right? So if you say chest feeding, you are isolating. You're doing exactly, by trying to be inclusive, you're doing exactly the opposite. And I actually want to have Dr. DNA on the show to talk about gender neutral words and side effects of that. So yeah, I really enjoyed this article. I thought it was great. Finally, someone making sense of some of the language that we are using in today's society. So yeah, what did you guys think of that? What did you guys think of that article? Let me see. Such utter BS woke narrative nonsense. Not really. This person is going against the gender neutral language, which is the gender neutral words are the woke things. And she's going against it. She's saying like these words like will confuse people. We mustn't do that. So yeah. So I'm just waiting to see what you guys think of this. Yeah, I don't. That's the thing, guys. Men aren't meant to give birth, right? I mean, kidney stones. Oh man, I'm so scared to get that. Lynette, exactly. I'm in agreement with that. I agree with that statement. I really do. And that's why I like what this woman is saying. Like, she's being sensitive to both sides, yes, but she's also saying, like, come on, guys, what are we saying here? You know, which I think needs to be said. I'm referring to the companies. Okay, sorry, my bad. Yeah, the company. But that's the thing. The companies enable. I think she even mentions that here somewhere, that the companies enable this kind of narrative or these words to be said, because it's them that really come up with these words. And then it's like, we don't say that to each other. Like, why are you saying this stuff? Cyril Ramasaurus giving a 70 Rand super chat. Thank you so much. So nice to be in quarantine. I can catch up on streams. That's the best super chat yet. I love that. I love that. Well done. Thank you so much, Cyril Ramasaurus, for the 70 Rand super chat. That was great. I'm going to clip that out. I'm going to share it. That was great. All right, so before I go off, I want to share with you guys a video. So as you guys know, the U.S. elections are coming up. And someone in the previous stream, when I was doing a Whinedown, asked me what my thoughts on the elections. I'm going to leave that for tomorrow. Not enough time. I want to keep this to an hour. So what I will say is that it seems that a lot of people are losing their minds. Like, wow. So I'm going to show you a clip that was circulating. And I don't know the context of this clip. There's people protesting, and there's the Biden and the Trump side, both, on either side, okay? So, yeah, a fight kind of ensues. So let's just watch, because I just think the clip is funny. That's why I wanted to show it to you guys. I just think it's funny how Americans are losing their shit. So enjoy.
Oh! Hey! You stay away from him! I will fucking hurt you! You better watch out! Back up, I'm gonna fuck you right you wanna get back up, Alpha! I will! Back up! So am I, gentlemen! So am I! This is peaceful protest. This is peaceful. This is peaceful. Peaceful protest. Everybody! You got enough violence. Peaceful. You better control it.
Best part's still coming.
Peaceful. We got 16-year-old autistic boy. Way to go, folks. He asked for it. Way to go. You retard. Come stand in my face, you redneck bastard. You want to talk about my boy? You ain't call my boy a retard. I will slap the goddamn taste out of you. No violence. Joe Biden, Joe.
Did you hear what she said? I will slap the taste out of your mouth. Oh, that's funny. Wait, I want to rewind. Oh, man, that's... I will slap the taste out of your mouth.
You call my boy a retard. I will slap the goddamn taste out of you. No violence. Joe Biden, Joe President. No violence, no violence, no violence, no violence. I feel that way. No violence. Let me tell you something, you aborted bastard. You're a retroactive. No, stop in a mile up that way. We'll get away from all these people.
Yes. Let me tell you something, you aborted bastard. Oh man, that was wow. I don't know what to say. I don't know. This is like I'm American, right? I'm American, South African, so I care about both countries. And when I see this kind of shit, I'm like, what is going on? What is going on? But notice how the Trump side, right, very calm. You know, they're saying like, hey, calm down, peaceful protest, people, and it's the Biden side that is just losing their crap. You know, this kid charges at someone, you know, there's almost an altercation, they calm it down, and then that woman just comes out of nowhere like, I'm going to slap the taste right out of your mouth, boy. You're aborted. What was it? You're aborted bastard. Wow. I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that. Next time I feel threatened, I'm going to be like, I'm going to slap the taste right out of your mouth, boy. Imagine hitting someone so hard that they lose the sense of taste. Oh, man. I don't know the context. I don't know. We don't even see the boy. I don't know if the kid or the boy is the same one that charges at the beginning of the clip. I don't know the context of the video. All I know is that she was funny. To me, she was funny. Like, trademark it. I'm gonna slap the taste right out of your mouth, boy. I love it. It's great. I love it. You will get blixumed. I'm gonna blixum the taste right out of your mouth, boy. Oh man, you make it a bit South African. Give it like a South African twang, you know. Oh man, that was funny. I'm sorry, that was funny. Ah man. Gonna slap you so hard your nose is gonna run home to mama. Nah, I like the taste. I like the taste. The taste one is good. You know. Apparently, people who get infected with COVID-19, they lose their taste. So maybe she's infected, slaps him so hard. I don't know. So one way of saying I'm gonna slap you so hard, I'm gonna infect you with COVID-19. Maybe I don't know. Oh man, that was funny. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Yeah, there's some crazy videos out there, man, of these people just screaming. Have you seen that crap? Oh Lord, maybe I'll show it tomorrow. But yeah, I will be back here 5 p.m., ladies and gentlemen, for the Thursday wind down. So please come check it out. I'll be discussing other headlines of the day. This is really fun. I'm enjoying doing this, but I will only be doing this for this week because Ramon isn't around. So I'm just taking a bit of his the slot that he does. So please, yeah, if you see anything, try sending it to me. Tagging me on social media. Remember, my social media links are in the description below. You can also join the Telegram channel. But you can also follow me on social media. And if you see something that you think I would be worth putting on the show, I will put it on the show. Also, if you enjoyed this, please consider giving a member if you want to support my channel. And give it a like if you really enjoyed it. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. I do other shows as well, very entertaining shows. Tonight, I will be back at 8:30. We're going to be with a few comedians. We're going to be talking, we're going to be continuing the discussion of Right Wing. It's Right Wing Part 3, and we're going to be talking about the events at Cynical. Now, I don't know who's going to join me on this show. Everybody seems to be getting busy. So unfortunately, Obi King and Peter may not be part of the show, but it sounds like Venner and Mikhail will be on the show. So we'll be doing that at 8:30. Should you guys wish to join us? And everyone's saying thanks. You're very much welcome. And Vani asking, "How's my favorite young man?" I am good. Thank you, Vani, for asking. And yeah. All right, cool. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to check out the series of Cynical. Please do share it because YouTube's not going to do it. So please, 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 even if you've seen it already, please share it to be greatly appreciated. Other than that, thank you everyone who gave a super chat, especially Cyril Ramasaurus. I'm going to clip that as soon as I can and share it on social media. All right, so once again, ladies and gentlemen, if I don't see you tonight, remember, stay safe, be kind to one another, and I'll see you at the next one. Cheers. Hey guys, so if you enjoyed the show, please consider giving it a like and a share. Don't forget to subscribe as well if you're new to my channel. And if you really enjoyed the content, feel free to join and become a member. Don't forget about my fight against cancel culture. That's in the link in the description below. Support my fight against cancel culture. Go to that link and